This slide may be a bit difficult to see, but I put it up primarily to focus on the highlighted items to get an understanding of what segments constitute the largest percentages of revenue. Up top here, we have the hospitality and gaming, which in 2009 accounted for 52% of revenues, transportation and facilities 8.1%, healthcare facilities 7.9%, municipal and government 5.3%. Civil segment were very marginal. Down here, management services, 5.4% of total revenues were for U.S. government services. A few of their significant projects. This one is Project City Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was the largest privately funded project in the United States. The final cost is around $8.6 billion. It accounted for 38% of annual revenues for 2009, and it had an effect on every aspect of the company, including that all ratios were being directly impacted by it. This is an artist's rendition of the project. It is 100% complete, minus the Harmon Hotel, which I will discuss later. Some other significant projects they had were portions of the Boston Central Artery Tunnel project, the Alameda Corridor project in California, Mohegan Sun and the MGM Grand at Foxwoods Resort expansion in Connecticut, the Augustus Tower at Caesars Palace, the Trump International Hotel and Tower, Paris, Las Vegas, and the Red Rock Casino Resort Spa, Las Vegas. TPC is beginning to see a shift in the sources of revenue, as indicated by the building segment's revenues decreasing from $3.576 billion to $1.870 billion, while the civil segment nearly doubled. Here you can see the revenues. This is for the 9 months ending September 30th, 2009. This is ending in 2010. And you can see that they're nearly cut in half for the building and they're nearly doubled for the civil segment. We are beginning to see a shift in revenue source, and again, the main impact on the company was because of the completion of Project City Center. For my ratio analysis, the source of RMA data that I used was the commercial and industrial building construction of 25 million and over. The current ratio for the company was 1.2 as compared to the RMA average of 1.3. It is slightly lower than RMA data, but it appears that they're going to be trending upwards on 2010 to 1.3. The quick ratio for 2009 is 1.1 as compared to the RMA average of 1.2. Again, slightly lower than RMA, but it does appear that they're going to be trending upwards to 1.2 for this year. The cash and equivalents went down 45 million for 2010, but accounts receivable increased by 105 million. Few reasons for this were the recent purchase of Superior Gunite for $33.5 million in cash. They used $61.7 million to fund financing activities and $35.9 million in cash to fund operating activities due to the timing of receivables collections from City Center. Here we see the revenue to receivables ratio. Excuse me. 2009 ratio was a devastating one for the company. They were even less than the lower quartile. Revenues for 2010 will decrease by 39%, as you can see right here. This is the 2009 revenues. This is 2010. It's a 39% increase, or excuse me, 39% decrease. And underneath you can see the receivables are increasing by 10%. The trend is looking worse. And it does indicate unfavorable terms with collection of receivables, which is very evident when it comes to Project City Center. This is the days receivable. 2009 again was higher than RMA, and look at the jump from 2009 to 2010. It looks like they're going to be going up to 139 days. This is a devastating ratio for the company, and it indicates an increase in delinquencies and accounts receivable. Again, Project City Center, as well as the current state of the global economy. The cost of revenues to payables. The 2009 ratio is 41% that of RMA. So it is a pretty significant ratio for them. They experienced a decrease in both direct costs and AP, and the ratio again was directly impacted by City Center. The AP decreased at a much faster rate than direct costs, as you can see here. Direct costs decreased by 10% from 08 to 09, and near over doubled, almost tripled the decrease for AP for that year. Days payable, compared to 2009 RMA, TPC is performing very poorly. They are stretching payments to subs due to higher accounts receivable. Again, Project City Center had a direct impact on this ratio. 2009, we had 76 compared to the RMA of 55, and 2010, 121 days compared to, if this holds for next year, which I doubt it will, at 55. The working capital turnover compared to RMA for 2009, they're slightly lower. It's not as bad as what 2010 appears to be. They're going to decrease significantly due to a decrease in revenues and an increase in working capital. Again, there's that number, 39% decrease in revenues and 14% increase in working capital. Their fixed to worth ratio was a higher ratio compared to RMA, and it indicates a higher investment in fixed assets in relation to net worth. This could be because of the acquisitions of a few civil contractors. Their fixed assets are increasing. As you can see right here also, in 2009, tangible net worth went up 30% as compared to net fixed assets only at 6%. But in 2008, when they acquired Tudor Saliba, or when they merged, the net fixed assets rose by 244%. And you can actually follow that jump right here. That's what the trend is showing. The return on investment. In 2008, one thing I'd like to point out is the critical one here. 2008, they showed a negative 4.70% ROI for the year. 2009 went up to 37.2%, more in line with the RMA data for 2009. And it appears in 2010, if everything holds the way it is right now, they'll be at 18% compared to that RMA for 09 of 34.40%. It will be interesting to see what the RMA for 2010 is going to be with the economy being what it is this year. The return on assets, 2009 ratio is slightly lower than RMA data. The acquisition of more capital-intensive companies and moving towards self-performing more work in 2010 will cause this ratio to decrease, as you can tell here. This year, or 2009 was 7.3, and 2010 it appears to be 3.8. Again, 2008 we have a negative 6.60% for the return on assets of that year.